Yo, what is up guys? Steve Reese here with Player Grade Guitars, where we discuss all things related to stoner, doom, blues, guitars, and gear. So if you're into that sort of thing, like this video, subscribe to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to buy and sell guitars online and applying my 20% principle to make sure you never lose money and always come out even at best and hopefully on top. So let's get to it. My 20% rule is very simple. Basically states that anytime you buy a guitar, used or otherwise, you need to make sure that you would feel comfortable listing it online for 20% more than you paid for it. So basically this is going to rule out new guitars. My motto is basically never buy new. I don't buy new guitars. I think it's a fucking waste of money. You can find much better guitars from years ago that are likely going to have better tone woods, better quality control for a fraction of the price. And that's basically how I've come about owning and buying and selling a ton of guitars over the years, is by never buying new, always shopping the used market, and then applying this 20% principle that I'm going to teach you about. So basically, the premise is simple. Anytime you buy a guitar, you need to do a lot of market research. You need to be looking on Reverb, eBay, Craigslist. Facebook Marketplace is a big one right now, and Facebook groups in general. And you need to be just, understanding what the going price for that particular model is. So, some people list way above market value, but then you'll start to, as you look at a lot of examples, get a feel for, okay, what is the sales price? You can check sold listings on eBay. Will give you actual sales prices of certain guitars, and what you need to do is really honestly assess what the going market price is going to be. And then what I do is basically find a guitar that I know will sell for 20% more than I paid for it, or at least I know I can list it for 20% more than I paid for it. So take an example. If you're looking at a guitar that is going to cost you $1,000, if you take that value of 1,000 and multiply it by 1.2, you're going to get 1,200. So in order to buy a guitar for $1,000, I have to be certain that I can at least list it on Reverb and eBay for $1,200, and hopefully more. The goal is always to be to maximize your return on investment, maximize your profit and your profit margin. But I find that over my years of experience buying and selling, that the number that's going to keep you free and clear when you go to resell something is 20%. So again, you're buying a guitar for $1,000, you have to be confident that you can list it at or above $1,200 to ensure that you don't lose any money on the sale. And that is basically applicable through the entire price range. And to give you a few examples, I want to just kind of show you what I've done over the years. I buy and sell a ton of gear. This is not just applicable to guitars, it's applicable to amps, pedals, any guitar, and probably any musical instrument for that matter that's going to be resold online. So this is a 2005 Gibson SG Les Paul VOS. I purchased this guitar for all original condition with the certificate of authenticity for $1,650. These things list online routinely for somewhere in the ballpark of $2,200 to $2,400. If I were to list it today, I would probably list it for $2,200. By my 20% rule, if I take $1,650 and multiply it by 1.2, I get $1,980. So $200 less than I would list it for. A pretty easy deal to understand that I'm going to probably never lose money selling this guitar. Likely going to make a couple $100, just depending on what the actual sales price is, and knowing you're going to get dinged with 6% on fees if you sell on Reverb. And obviously you're going to have to pay somewhere in the realm of $50 to $80 to ship it, depending on where it's going. 1992 Gibson Les Paul Standard. I purchased this guitar in all original condition. I've switched out the switch tip, but otherwise, and some hardware and such. This guitar is never going out for sale. But when I bought it, the only thing that was unoriginal were these tuning machines. It came with a case and everything else. $1,850. If I apply the 20% rule to that, I come up with $2,220. A very early, all original or fairly original Gibson Les Paul Standard from the early 90s these days is easily going to list at $2,200. You know, the 20% rule on the 1850 comes up to $2,220. I would probably list this at Les Paul for around $2,400. You see guys trying to sell these things for $3,000 these days. I think that's ridiculous, but I think it's an easy $2,000 sell. If I sold it at $2,000, again, you know, you're going to get hit with fees and shipping, but I'm still going to come out on top. I'm not going to lose money. Last but not least, I have a 1965 Gibson SG Special, all original. This thing came with the original gold line lift-in case. It does have a very small crack repair at the control cavity, and at some point had a Bigsby put on it that was removed and the holes filled. I paid $2,800 for this guitar. I would list this thing at $3,500 all day long, and I think I would get interest. I've had it by the 20% rule. If you take $2,800, you multiply it by 1.2, you get $3,360. This guitar I would list, and I have listed it at $4,000, and it didn't move. It sat for a long time, and I crept down the price, and around $3,500 I started to get some real interest. And I sort of got cold feet and pulled it off the market because I didn't want to sell it at the time, not for that price. And that even the $3,500, I'm saying just because it's difficult to get one in this shape for $3,500, which is why I bought it at $2,800. But just a few examples to sort of give you an idea of what I'm talking about here and how you basically have to take the price you're going to buy the guitar, multiply it by 1.2, and really be honest with yourself that that is the price you could list the guitar for at minimum. And like I said, hopefully you're able to list the guitar for more than that and give yourself some wiggle room. But I assure you, if you're honest with yourself and you firmly understand the market and know that you can take the price you're paying, add 20%, and list it at that, you will never lose money on guitars. You will be able to swap guitars in and out, buy or amps or pedals or whatever freely, and just kind of get new gear, offload gear. You can offer it at a decent price, so it'll move fast, and I think that's critical to being able to sort of support the guitar acquisition habits many of us sort of come up with. But anyways, that is my principle, the 20% rule. And for buying and selling musical gear in general, buying and selling guitars. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit like. Please subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. And hopefully I'm going to bring you guys some more cool stuff soon. All right, check it out. See ya. Thanks.